What's up guys, Miller's Cards here, and today I'll be doing another PSA reveal. This is a 21 card order. It went pretty well. I'm happy with the grades overall. It arrived at PSA on April 29th and it was completed on June 24th, so almost a 2-month turnaround time. I do have another order at PSA right now under the June special. That arrived on June 14th and it's only in the order arrived status, so PSA is moving a little bit slower for me. But I'm still not mad about a 2-month turnaround time. Can't really complain overall. I've had some orders that have moved a lot faster and been done in a month, but not gonna complain too much about that if I'm getting my cards back within 2 months. But without any further ado, let's just hop right into this. The only soccer card that you'll see in this order, and it's the only soccer card I've ever graded, is this Messi Prized Footballers Topps Finest Refractor. It did gem out. Nice card there. I'm going to move these to the side and we'll get started with everything else. This is the only baseball card, Volpe Bowman Chrome out of 25. I ended up getting a 9. I didn't see anything wrong with this card. I'm kind of surprised it didn't 10. Maybe one issue, tiny corner issue, but centering was good. Like you can see the top to bottom here is good. This was probably the biggest card in the order. At the time I'd sent it in because he's still playing well, but at the time he was really, really hot. Hoping for that to gem out, but can't be too upset at a 9, especially with the way the rest of this order went. So that was just the 2 non-football or basketball cards I sent. We'll get into the rest of we'll get into the basketball first here. Luka Chronicles out of 149, pulled the gem on it. They made the finals, obviously, couldn't quite get it done, but very popular player. It's easy to move Luka stuff. Brandon Miller Vortex pulled a 9. This is cubic, the cubic out of 50. I knew this was gonna 9. It had right up here, back corner issue. Everything else on it looked good, but for $16.99 a card, I forgot to mention that at the beginning. These were $16.99 to get graded. I figured it was probably worth the investment just to get it slabbed up. We'll see what he can do in year 2. A guy whose market has exploded over the last few months, Anthony Edwards, silver, pulled the gem. With their Western Conference Finals run, his stuff has went through the roof. I'm a big Wolves fan, so I was sad when they got eliminated, but future's looking bright. And Anthony Edwards stuff sells really well, so I've been looking to pick up more of his stuff to grade. Sir Thompson, guy can't hit the side of a barn. I mean, not a great shooter, but really good defensive player, and we'll see what he can do in Detroit. I know they brought that shot doctor in who fixed Lonzo's shot, so we'll see if he can get Osser to start shooting a little bit better. But Pink Ice, pull the gem. This should have gemmed. I mean, there was not one thing wrong with it. I wouldn't have submitted this if I thought it even had a remote chance at a 9, because I would for sure lose money as a 9. Another guy who's in the conference finals this time in the East, Tyrese Halliburton. Not a big card here, just a ruby red wave optic, but did pull the gem. Kind of the same thought process as the Asar Thompson. You got to make sure those cards are clean, or you're going to lose money as a 9. This one's nice. Another Asar Thompson. I know it's Prism Draft Picks and it's an insert. It's widescreen, but it's still the first off the line. And I pulled the 10. Super short print, numbered out of 3. Right back here. Another first off the line card here. This one could be my favorite over the Volpe, especially because it pulled the 10. Ja Morant Fireworks out of 19. First off the line blue shimmer. Hopefully he can have a good season. They just drafted Zach Edey. If Ja can stay on the court, I like that duo. So we'll see what Memphis can do coming up this season. Podominski, if I'm even saying this name right. Silver Prism. He had a pretty good season. He torched the Wolves one game, but over in Golden State, bigger market there, his cards will sell. And the last basketball card is another Pacer, this time the retro throwback Chris Mullin Retro Series Optic Gold. This is numbered out of 10. Right here. There's the numbering, numbered out of 10 gold, and it pulled the gem. This card was really clean. I was hoping for it to gem, and sure enough it did. And now we'll move to the football. We did really well on the basketball. They're the only 9. Find it. Was that Brandon Miller? There it was. The only 9. Everything else gemmed. But we'll get into the football now. This is a Brock Purdy Emergent Green. pulled the 10 on that. This one, bit of a disappointment. I must have missed something because it's pulled an 8, the disco. I would have rather had this one gemmed than the green. So clearly I missed something on this, and when I was looking over it, I think it's right up here. Can you see? Yeah, there's like an indent print line going down about halfway. It stops right about here, but that'll knock you down a grade point minimum, and so 8 is probably fair on that card. So that was my fault. I thought this grader was pretty fair. Bryce Young, Prison Break, PSA 9. I'm gonna lose money on this card. I pulled it from a pack, like a $5 pack I bought, $10 pack I bought, and decided to grade it just to try and get some money back from the pack, and it did not. Probably a fair grade. Corner issue down there. Shouldn't have sent it in, but his market will go up if Carolina has a better start to next season. It doesn't have a lot of help over there, but we'll see what happens with Bryce Young. Next up, reigning MVP, now a 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson, Fireworks No Huddle, PSA 10. I love the look of these disco cards. This is kind of funny because if you guys watched my PSA preview video on what I was going to send in, I was talking about 2 Mahomes cards, and I was saying how well I've done on Mahomes mosaic inserts, and then I pulled 2, not 1, but 2 8s on the mosaics. So clearly something I missed on these. Sometimes it can be hard to see the surface with this mosaic style design. I looked over both these, not too extensively, but I didn't really see anything on either, but I'm sure it's similar to that Brock Purdy where I missed a print line or an indent or something for him to pull an 8. So I'll lose money on those too, unfortunately. This card will probably stay in the PC. Finest Moments, Adrian Peterson, 2007 rookie. It pulled the 10. Not a super high value card, but very cool, one of the greatest running backs of all time. So that'll stay with me in the PC. And then we also have another finest from that same rookie class, this time of a different running back, another Hall of Famer, Marshawn Lynch. Pulled the 10. 2007 finest. This one's not the finest moments like the Peterson was. This is just the base. But I am more than happy gemming chrome cards from 2007. Those that easily can get scratched up and stuff, but moving on, this Herbert here, die cut. This is the first ever die cut I've ever graded, and it got a 10, and I pre-graded this as a 10 when I sent it in, but after looking over it, this should not have 10. This is a true 9, and it's maybe even more of an 8 than a 10, to be honest. 9 would have been the perfect grade for this. First thing I noticed, look at that centering left to right. Definitely heavier on the right side, right there and there. And then also, that's an edge mark there. That's like a corner ding. This should have been a 9. I'm shocked this ended up getting a 10. Look at the back centering too. You can kind of see it's off up on the top. But I'm not going to complain pulling a 10 for this. This is a nice card, Herbert. They don't really have much receivers. I know they moved off Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and they drafted Joe Alt instead of, a receiver, but I trust Herbert, and he's obviously got Harbaugh coming in now, much better coach. So we'll see what the Chargers can do here. And the last card, this was a nice pull. This is the passing with football variation. You don't see a lot of these listed on eBay. I think there's only one like raw for like listed for 100 or something. Ended up pulling a 10. I pre-graded this a 9. The right centering is a little bit thinner than the left, so I was a bit surprised I ended up pulling the gem on it, but there wasn't anything else wrong with it. So 10 is still, the centering is still within their requirements, but from what I've learned from PSA is they've kind of locked down a little bit more on centering, so a little bit surprised to pull the 10, but it is centered enough and there was nothing else wrong with it, like I said. So good pull on this. I think it's a pop 22 or something like that. Not sure what I'll list it for, but I don't have much in this card, and I'm sure it's worth around 100 at least. So good pull there. But that was the 21 card order. That was everything in there. Here's the stack. Overall, really, really good. 21 cards submitted, 15 out of them gemmed, 3 9s and 3 8s. So overall, very good order. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I do have another order at PSA, and I am acquiring more stuff to grade. They constantly have these specials going on, where if it's under 20 bucks a card to grade, you kind of have to. But got to make sure you're sending the right stuff too, stuff that people want. And as I alluded to with like the Assur Thompson and the Tyrese Halliburton, got to make sure those cards are going to gem, or else you will lose money, especially if you get a bad grader. But overall, stoked with this order. I've done really well my last 2 PSA orders. I've been much pickier on what I'm going to submit. So I might do a PSA grading tips video for those of you who also grade out there and have had bad orders in the past, because my last 2 before this, these next 2 were pretty bad, and that's when I decided I was really going to make sure that things were clean, and I was cleaning cards better, stuff like that, or wiping them off with the microfiber cloth better, stuff like that. I don't use any of those card care things. I know PSA has now changed their policy and said like Kurt's card care and stuff cannot be used, or any sort of substance put on them. They won't grade them now. But without any more rambling, that was the video. 21 cards, 15 gems. I have some more content coming out in the near future, some mail day stuff and more PSA stuff. But appreciate you guys as always for tuning in.